Allah and Ashe, blessings to you. It's a fantastic Friday, or at least a fall day in the season of Scorpio. And if you are new to my show, my channel, I go live every Friday. I do mini cowrie shell divinations for my audience, my listeners. I just wanted to kick off the season of Scorpio. We do have also, I do a sacred spirit circle meditation for each of the seasons. And as we've kicked off the season of Scorpio, the Sacred Spirit Circle for Scorpio is up, complete with a ritual and a meditation for you to do. I did do it a little backwards. The meditation is before the ritual, so be sure to pause as you tune in as well. And also, being in the season of Scorpio, I just want to say the moon today is in the season of Leo, squaring the sun. So this is really like going to the depths of our heart, our sacred space, our heart space, our heart center, our heart chakra, basically, and going to the depths of, I would say, our soul is kind of how that feels, and transforming those parts of us and the emotional field, which is also connected to the astral field. So cleansing up the astral field with what our heart feels and senses. And for today, I just wanted to bring in the 4 pillars of Chinese astrology, Chinese medicine. I dove into 4 pillars years ago. I brought in a skincare line based on traditional Chinese medicine. And so I dove into 4 pillars before I dove into feng shui. So it's all about the elements for me. I do use the 4 pillars kind of destiny as an elemental map. The energy of today, which is on the screen here, we've got a yang water dog of a day. The water is connected, obviously, to water, the sacral, but on top of that, also the bladder and the kidney meridian being in the flow. And it's like the end of the fall season, the dog. Earth energies are always transitional energies associated with lymphatic circulation, acne. I think sometimes people get confused with acne when it shows up on the skin and the reflex zones, because there's dry acne, there's wet acne, there's oily acne, and that's all different flavors of earth, which is a transitional energy at the end of each season and direction. So being that today is a yang water dog energy of the day, we literally have a mountain range. The dog, 2 dogs, yang earth creates the mountain, and the dragon also a mystical, magical mountain. So this is like, we go to the mountain to tell the mountain our secrets and our stories. The mountain doesn't come to us. The mountain is stable. It's solid. So we've got this stabilizing energy where, or how we can overcome the challenges or forces of adversity today through faith. And faith is a feeling, but also having some resilience, unwavering resilience, if you will. And yang water in the heavenly pillar or frequency, the realm of our day, the frequency, that's associated with oceans, powerful oceans, torrential rain showers, seas, big yang water. But also I associate it with the galaxy, a different kind of water, I guess. So this may bring out some unseen fears today, but also helps us to visualize, imaginate, like go into the imagination station, which is also the shaman's portal. All the, like, just imagine all the possibilities that are really waiting for us on the other side of the horizon. That's the mountaintop, having a mountaintop perspective, or kind of seeing through the eye of creator. And yang earth also being the mountains of the world is kind of presenting us with a panoramic view, a world view of ways to turn those possibilities into realities, landing in the physical world. So I don't know about you, but you may have experienced some delays today. Maybe you were blocked. That's the energy of the 2 dogs. It kind of reminds me of I want to say Odin. I don't know why, but Odin's chariot with 2 dogs. I don't know why that came in. With the month and the day both having dogs. And that doesn't even include the dragon, because these are opposing forces. But there's all this yang earth, this mountain range. It's empowering us to really do the work, to be stable. So the energy is kind of, I would say it's vibrant. It's this vibrant chi with the two dogs. So it's a day to like set the foundation. It's called an established day, and teaming up with other people, collaborating with others. So if you do have in your 4 pillars chart, the dogs are allies. So if you have a tiger or a horse, it's a it's an energy blending is what I want to say. And the secret friend, because all the little animals have friends. So the secret friend to the dog is actually the rabbit. So if you have any of those animals in your 4 pillars, then today is very a collaborative energy kind of day. If you've got the dragon, that's like a day of rest to take it easy, because that's an opposing energy to the dog, and we've got 2 dogs. And then in the I Ching, the hexagram, the water dog pillar itself, it's one of gathering energies, it's strength or power in numbers and collaboration. So I kind of like that. It's the power of community. And so just imagine a crowd, a gathering of people united by a common goal. It kind of feels like a coalition in a way, but it's also water, which could also be a lake above the earth or a lake in the mountain in the triagram. So that's like the youngest daughter and also the mother. So that means like leadership comes from nurturing the young and honoring the earth as the mother. So it's kind of like getting clarity and direction that comes from self-reflection and the center, which is actually the center of the earth when I do my divinations. And I do bring this up because in my sessions, if it's a basic cowrie shell divination, I generally tune into the forces of concern at the moment. And then if you work with me one-on-one, more so as a mentor, I dive into the 4 pillars for your personal elementals. And I do find that we often attract people, places, things when we're missing an element in our 4 pillars chart to bring us into balance. But this also affects the elementals associated with the yin and the yang, the organ system of our body, the energy body. So that's kind of my little spiel about this. So again, if you're new to my show, just tuning in, I do mini cowrie shell divinations on Friday. If you have a question, all you got to do is comment in the show notes, and I will move the shells on your behalf. Sometimes I look at the month you're born into, mostly for the directions and the elementals. We are in period 9, and we're moving into Pluto and Aquarius. So there's really this rise of the Phoenix energy happening, both in the Chinese element of period 9, which is a 20-year cycle, on top of Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is also a rising of the Phoenix, like in a vibrational kind of way is kind of how I see that. So I'm going to change the screens here because you know how much fun that is for me. I'm getting better. I feel like I am. So there I is. So yeah, so I move the shells and just kind of see what comes in. I do play with the cards. I mostly play with the Fae. I did bring in the Galactic Heritage. If you saw my show on Monday, I really haven't played with that deck, and I feel like there's 100 cards at least. There's quite a few. So yeah, I literally had to read right out of the book for that one because I don't play with those. I mostly play with the elements. So again, if you want me to move the shells on your behalf, just comment in the show notes. We'll see what's happening there. And as a subscriber to my page, not a follower, a subscriber, a fan, I do private mini sessions for you if you're interested. Well, hi, Charlotte. I get to play with you on Monday, I believe. I'm super excited. I hope you are too, for a little private mini session. I'm sure you can hear me. So as I move the cards here, oh, this is like being, what do I want to say? Like in a fog, like not seeing things as they really are. It's also the energy of water and fire. And, you know, fire warms the water and water cools the fire. So it's kind of a balanced energy, but this is also like being tested about like what we're seeing. It's like what we see versus what we hear aren't in alignment, and questioning that. So this tells me, like, listen to your feelings and also to spirit. So there. Ooh, the Netherlands. Well, hello, Ronald. What a great place to be. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining my show. I'll pull another card. If you want me to move the shells on your behalf, just type in your birth year and possibly the month you're born. And I'll move the shells and see what comes in. Oh boy. So this is interesting. This is Penelope, the Dream Weaver. I love this for a few reasons. The 62 adds to an 8, and then we've got an 8 over here. So it's kind of like seeing between the seams or the threads, like between, like what's real and what isn't, but also like enhancing the dream, committing to the dream through a feeling. So it manifests in the physical world as we protect it and nurture it and keep moving forward. Usually why people's manifestations fall apart or the tower crumbles is because it's not really in alignment with what our heart desires. So if our manifestation isn't coming from our heart space, it tends to collapse because we lose steam, we lose the energy to keep nurturing the entire process. So I find that interesting, and like with the moon and Leo, like follow your heart. Kind of reminds me of Toucan on the Fruit Loop commercial. Oh boy. And then we've got the Maiden. So this is also bringing the energies into this world, but being mindful of, like, if it's in alignment, to make sure it's like what we want to attract. But this is childlike wonder and being creative and bringing in that childlike wonder. So I would say go back to your childhood memories of what your dreams were, because the Dream Weaver, and bring those dreams into the physical world, especially if they're still there, kind of lingering. That's kind of like the message there. And just hold the frequency. That's what I do. I kind of don't let everyone know what I'm doing, because sometimes people, they'll either snake your idea and run with it, or they try to down you and, you know, lower your frequency. So there is that. So yeah. So if you want me to move the shells on your behalf, just comment your birth stuff. Charlotte, I already know you're a Sagittarius and you're a fire spirit. So you're kind of a double fire there with Sagittarius. But also you've got water. Water within, actually you might be the end of the dog. But water, if it's the pig. So that's kind of fun. All right. So I'll just move the shells on your behalf for the collective. Let's do a collective. So I'll affirm the spirits in the unseen. I'll affirm the spirits of our ancestors, the Great Spirit, the oneness, that I may be a conduit to deliver the message for today. That's right. I read your shells on your birthday, didn't I? Did I read your shells on your birthday? I feel like I did. Okay, so as a collective, let's see what is going on here. Oh, yeah. So I think we're going to be just like the energy of the day with the 4 pillars, like gathering in communities and like changing, like becoming more unified, getting into the flow, getting organized, collaborating, those kinds of energies. That's kind of what's happening here. But yeah, it's like the beginning of getting into the flow. Like, what's the movement that I'm in? But we have actually blocked our direct communication to the other world, to the world of spirit. Whether that's our ancestors, source, God, whatever, an angel, it doesn't really matter. We're blocking that connectivity for some reason, or maybe spirit is like putting us in a timeout, having us desires. That's kind of what's happening over here. But yeah, so this is about honoring our spiritual truths, shining our light so we don't dim, identifying like who is our tribe, who is our community. Maybe we're going through this celestial wishing tree. That kind of comes from right there. Like gathering new friends, new people that are more in alignment with, what our heart desires. That's kind of what I'm sensing right there. Just looking at all of these. Plus, knowing at the elements of today, where the adversity is, and the messages from the Fae, things I think were, it's almost like washing the window so you can have a clear view, and doing some researching the storyline to see what's coming in there. It's kind of what I'm sensing here. There's a lot happening in our world, but I always like to focus on the optimistic and the most positive. So yeah, I'm sorry you missed my live on your birthday. I did do somebody's birthday. So there was that. I don't remember when, but it was someone's birthday one time when I went live. So it was pretty amazing and fun. So I always love that. So yeah. Oh no, I'm doing great. I was just feeling into the world. Sometimes I prefer to stay optimistic when I look at the shells and the messages sometimes, because I always feel like there's magic on the other side of whatever forces of adversity are, and the universe is always working in our favor. We just sometimes take it as a negative when it's moving us to where we belong, like something that we're more in line with, whether it's a relationship. That's usually lately my readings have all been about relationships endings or beginnings, or could be career, could be job as well, or business. There's all kinds of reasons people get a divination, but it all correlates energetically. And usually if somebody comes to me, like if I have a full day, it's usually very similar stories that I'm kind of in the weaving the web through. But this is fun. This one is all about like designing our own weekend, like going and having fun and scripting our own story, playing, being creative to bring that into manifestation. So I totally love that. Yeah. Create your own fairy. That's basically what this is. So I might have to do that. Okay, so I see I've got a few people on here. If you want me to move the shells on your behalf, all you have to do is comment your name, just like Charlotte in the show notes, and your birth year. I guess you don't need to comment your name. It'll show up anyway. Your birth year and month, if you'd like. And I'll see what the shells have to say. Sometimes I have to see if I'm still streaming. All right. Okay. If anybody wants to go at it, all you have to do is comment your birth year and your month if you feel the need, and what's on the tip of your tongue, and I'll move the shells on your behalf and see what comes through. I do these privately as well if you've got something you don't want a live show to stream through, but the fact that you're here tells me something's tipping on your tongue. Oh yeah, so we got the medicine wheel. So that tells me we need to balance the energies. All the elementals. We need them all. And if you don't know, Gift and Purpose is literally about all the elements, not just the 5 elements. There's actually 12 elements that I work with. Some are of the world, some are not. Ether, star, clay even. Clay is a great molding element. Oh yeah, the light beings, star beings. So I think we need to be open open to some otherworldly contact, which I did pull that card. So I'm just preparing us, I think. Expect the unexpected. 100%. Oh, yep. And root it. Bring it rooted. Ground it into this world. It's going to massive transformation. Radical transformation is what I'm getting there. Okay, well, if I don't have anybody wanting to tune in, Charlotte, I'm going to give you a private session on Monday. So thank you for that. I'm super excited. And then if you have any challenges, it's through Zoom. I'm sure you know that. But either way, okay. I'll stay on a minute longer and see if anybody wants a mini scroll. If not, yeah, I think we need to, this tells me we need to connect with our personal medicine, our gift and our purpose. Did something happen to my full broadcast today? Not that I am aware of. I think I'm still streaming. I don't know. I may know later. Something like that. It looks like I'm still streaming. Did something happen to my full broadcast today? Not that I'm aware of. I usually do a full show on Mondays, kind of the moon and the elements. I just pulled them in today for fun. I don't always do that. I kind of just go with what I feel. So yeah. But either way, if nobody's interested in me moving the shells for the world to see, yeah, make it great. And I always have my affirmation. For the weekend, if you haven't joined my live show. So I always do an affirmation for the energies of the week. And this one is, I allow myself to partner with my higher self, which is your Sira. It's what you look like in the heavenly universe. Releasing limitations to live high-heartedly. That's like just being in your heart zone. I often find myself like going inward and chanting, like going through all of my energetic centers and just being an inner zen is kind of how I see that, to keep myself calm in situations, and kind of connected spiritually to the higher realms, whatever you want to call them, angels, another dimension, etc. Doesn't whatever resonates with you is kind of how I see that and how I go through that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and listening. And again, I'll see you on Monday, Charlotte. I'll reach out if we can't connect. And as always, I'll see you on the other side. Ashe, blessings.